What's up everyone? In today's video we're going to compare the GPSMAP 1222 with the ECHOMAP Ultra 126 SV. So in today's video we're going to talk about two different graphs. I have the ECHOMAP Ultra 126 SV and the GPSMAP 1222. The GPSMAP 1222 is a non-touchscreen graph. The ECHOMAP Ultra 126 SV is a touchscreen, and it also has sonar. This one does not have sonar. However, I am able to connect my live scope transducer to it, which is basically all that I use it for. It's important to note that the 1222, the 12 part of it, means that it is a 12-inch screen. So if it was a 1022, it would be a 10-inch screen. Whereas this, the 12 or the 126, if it was a 10.6 or a 106, it would be a 10-inch screen. So when you're searching for graphs to buy, that kind of tells you the size of the screen. So for the display resolution, they're both the same. They both have a 1280 by 800 pixel display resolution. So your screen resolution will be the same for both of the graphs. For the SD cards, the SD cards are used for ActiveCaptain, for importing and exporting nav data. They're also used for map cards or anything like that. Both of them have a dual SD card, but the 1222 has the standard SD card size, whereas the 126 SV has the micro SD card. So as far as nav data, they're both the same as far as the storage that they can do. They both allow for 5,000 waypoints, 50,000 track points. They allow for 50 saved tracks with 100 navigation routes. I don't really use the navigation routes, but the tracks, the waypoints, and the track points are all important to me. The GPSs that they use are the same as well. So they both have a built-in internal GPS, and they both are NEMA 2000 compatible. Another thing that is really important, I think is really cool with the Garmin, is both of these units are ActiveCaptain compatible. And that allows you to basically install the app on your phone, so you're able to import that data from your phone app to your graph through Wi-Fi. That is really convenient because if you're at a hotel room or whatever, you can be on your app on your phone and you can mark waypoints that you want to check out the next day. And then whenever you turn your graphs on, if you have them synced with the Wi-Fi with your phone, it'll allow those waypoints to automatically sync to your graph, and you'll have those waypoints on that graph from your phone that you marked the night. So the power input for the GPSMAP is 10 to 36 volts, and the power input for the ECHOMAP is 9 to 18 volts. Typical current draw at 12 volts on the GPSMAP is 2.2 amps. The current draw at 12 volts is on the ECHOMAP is 2.8 amps, and the max current draw is 2.9 amps on the GPSMAP and 3.0 amps on the ECHOMAP. The max power usage for the GPSMAP is 34.8 watts. The max power usage at 10 volts for the ECHOMAP is 24.4 watts. So as far as sonar, both of these units are live scope compatible. However, the 1222 does not have sonar. You can buy different GPS maps that do have sonar. I think it's the XSV at the end of, if you have a 1222 XSV, then it's sonar compatible. If you have a 1242 XSV, then it is sonar compatible, and it comes with a sonar transducer, and we'll talk about some of the prices a little bit later on in the video of all three of those configurations. But this graph right here is not sonar compatible. So like 2D, side imaging, down imaging. However, it does have a port on the back of it that is compatible with live scope. And so I'm able to run my live scope off this screen without having to buy a graph that is sonar compatible. So if you are buying a graph that's just for live scope, this one works out pretty good because I can adjust the settings pretty well. I can save a little bit of money by only buying a screen, essentially, that I can hook my live scope up to. So as far as connections, these graphs, the GPSMAP has a power, 2 Ethernet ports, and then a NEMA 2000 port. As you can see, they don't have a port for connecting sonar or your transducer. This Ethernet is actually my live scope that's coming from my black box, and my power is obviously power that goes to my cranking battery. So those are the only 2 that I have in here, and you'll see that each one has to individually come off of here in order for me to disconnect my graph. So now let's look at the ECHOMAP 126 and we'll see how the connections look on that one. Judd said his grandpa calls that the Nick Evil hair jump.
Jump?
I think it's bad on my knees, to be honest. Anyways, so as you can see with this 126 SV, it actually has like a quick disconnect here, and that's really convenient when you're at a hotel. You don't have to unhook all the connections. So it basically just pops into place like such, and this back part, you push in and it locks it into place. So push that back down, lock it into place, make sure it's good and sturdy. But the back of this thing has 6 connections on it that allow you to connect sonar, Ethernet, power, NEMA 2000, and anything else you need to connect. I have 2 sonar ports. One of them's this orange one of them this yellow one. I have a power, I have an Ethernet port, another Ethernet port, and then a NEMA 2000. So with this, I'm able to have sonar, I'm able to have my live scope, I'm able to link all my graphs with the Ethernet. But having this quick disconnect really saves me a lot of time if I'm at a hotel or something like that and I want to disconnect my graph, but I don't want to unplug all of the sonar and the GPS and all the other wires on there. I can just pop that quick disconnect off there and it's ready to go. So as far as prices of these, the GPSMAP 1222 is $19.99, and that's the cheapest of all of them. So that comes without a transducer. It's not sonar compatible, but if you have a live scope transducer already, you can connect it to the back of this graph and you can display your live scope. Another configuration that you can get for the GPSMAP is you can get a 1222 XSV, and that comes without a transducer, but it is sonar compatible. And so that would be good if you want 2D sonar, or you want to add a sonar transducer later on, or if you have one from a past graph that is compatible with this, that would come in handy to be able to add sonar to this if you wanted to in the future. And the price of that being sonar compatible without a transducer is $21.99. The other option that you can get with the GPSMAP is the 1242 XSV, and that one actually comes with a transducer. It comes with a side imaging transducer, and obviously it's sonar compatible if it comes with a transducer, but that is $25.99, and so it's a little bit more expensive. But if you're wanting a side imaging transducer either in the back or the front, then you may want to go that route. The GPSMAP 126 SV is obviously a little bit more expensive. It comes with that side imaging transducer. It's $2,949. It comes with the side imaging transducer. It's the touchscreen unit, and it also has down imaging and 2D sonar. So it comes with all that extra sonar. But if you're really just looking for a live scope graph, then this one's probably the way to go. As far as my opinion, on which graph I prefer, obviously the touchscreen is really nice. I've had this graph the longest, so I'm most used to the touchscreen. It honestly depends on what you prefer between the interfaces. If you don't want a touchscreen and you're okay with just these buttons and you're okay with the shortcuts that the 1222 has, then this graph is great. It's cheaper and it'll basically do everything you need it to do. If you want a touchscreen and you want that additional sonar, I would go with the ECHOMAP Ultra, and I think they actually have an ECHOMAP Ultra 2 now as well. But I would go with that, and you'll have your side imaging, you'll have your down imaging, and also 2D, and then you can connect your LiveScope transducer to that as well. But if all I wanted to have was a LiveScope screen, this would probably be the one that I would go with. It allows you to record your LiveScope as well, which is a really cool feature. And you don't necessarily need the touchscreen for everything you do. You'll probably have your LiveScope settings set. You may adjust them a little bit through the menu. And if you look at my buttons tutorial, you'll see that there are a few settings that you can change really easily with just this rotary dial without having to ever get into the menu setting. So this graph right here can probably do everything you need to do if you're just doing a LiveScope. So I think the ECHOMAP 2, the ECHOMAP Ultra 2 for this 126 records LiveScope, I'm pretty sure. But you may want to look into that before if you're going out to buy one. But the 1222 for sure records LiveScope, and that's a really nice feature. It's really cool to watch your videos back and see how the fish react to your bait. Another pro with the ECHOMAP Ultra is that quick disconnect on the graph that'll allow you, if you're at a hotel or something, to remove the graph a lot quicker, and you don't have to mess with disconnecting all the wires from the back of the graph. But all in all, honestly, if I was going to get a graph that I wanted to have side imaging, down imaging, 2D, and LiveScope on, I would go with the touchscreen. If I was just going to try and get the cheapest graph that I could possibly get for just LiveScope and I'm not worried about sonar or anything else, or this 1222 is definitely the graph that I would go with. It's been really good for me, and I'm very happy with the way it's performing and the screen resolution and everything that I have on there. Hopefully this video is helpful for you to decide between the two graphs. Hope you guys learned a little bit along the way. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.